Hi everyone. I thought I'd hop on today to have a bit of a chat with you all about something that comes up quite regularly, particularly in the first session that I have with my shamanic energy medicine clients. And that's around the topic of why, possibly after all these years of efforting and doing in these incredible practices like breath work and yoga and carnivore diet and fasting and all the things, most of the clients that I see have literally done all the things and yet still find that when it counts, when they're in the middle of a high stress situation or a high conflict situation, are defaulting back to the same patterns over and over again. And so by the time they come to see me, they're normally very, very frustrated about this, as you could imagine, and really, truly coming as if almost it's a last resort, exhausted and burnt out from all the efforting and doing to try and approach their healing process. And it's actually quite a simple reason as to why effort alone, the logical ego mind's effort and motivation, can't provide deep healing on its own. And that's because there's a massive difference between curing something and healing something. Curing is something that ordinarily will approach the symptoms of your soul wounds. So a soul wound, and we can go into this in another video, but a soul wound is the energetic imprint of the emotional blockages or self-limiting beliefs or traumas or losses that you've experienced in your life, and potentially through your ancestral lines, the lands you live on, the communities and societies you live in, and also your past life interactions. And so when we go to cure something, it's because we've recognized in the cognitive sense that there's something wrong that needs our help. And we've recognized that there's a very specific symptom. It might be depression or anxiety, or it could be an autoimmune disease, or it could be cancer manifesting in the body, and so on. And so we go about efforting in the physical conscious state to try and mitigate those symptoms as best we can. And a lot of the time, if someone is really, really focused and really motivated, we can actually make a pretty big impact on those symptoms and reduce them or completely cure them. And yet what normally happens when we either get to a plateau in our cured state, or we find that whilst we cure one thing, another thing pops up in its place. A little bit like if you use one of those squishy stress balls, you might squish down in one area and have contained it, but in another area it starts bulging and popping out. And that's exactly what happens when we cure something. It means that we're actually always only addressing the symptoms as they've come to the surface, or the physical manifestation in our 3D world of the soul wounds that were much deeper beneath. And so the healing process is actually a deeper, oftentimes longer, more complicated process, but always at the core of it is a soul wound. And unless we actually address those soul wounds and we learn how to bring back to our energy field those parts that we've exiled because it wasn't safe for them to be with us, we tend to find we go through phases of curing over and over again, eventually becoming incredibly exhausted. And so I would invite you to sit and really reflect when you're thinking about your own healing journey. Are you just simply repeating cycles of curing states, or are you actually prepared to move into deeper healing states with your practices? And if it's the latter, the exciting news is I've just finished all of the content for my new book, Bringing the Lost Parts of Me Home, an explorer's guide to reclaiming wholeness, discovering purpose, and living authentically. and you'll be able to find it on bookshelves and in any online place you can imagine, and in Audible and Kindle and all the rest of the places within a couple of weeks. Until then, you can also follow the link in the messages below and go to my website and pre-order a copy and receive about a $15 discount off a paperback copy, and great discounts off audio and ebook copies as well. So I'm here to support your journey. I'm here to walk with you and explore what it feels like to come into an entirely new relationship with yourself and your inner being and call those lost parts of you home. Have a beautiful day, and yeah, I'm really curious to hear what feedback you can give about that topic of curing versus healing.